incredible just to see him switch through these clone voices. And so you realize, being in the recording this episode, he was probably sitting in there in the booth by himself, literally, as Jat puts it, talking to himself.
Yeah, a lot, because there's just a little bit of Matt Lanter as
Mm-hmm.
Anakin, a little bit of TC, what is it, Carson? TC
Yeah.
Carson does Mace. I'm trying to think. Do we see? Well, of course, we get Trench. Well, D. Bradley Baker does Trench. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah.
And and then of
The,
course you got Matthew Wood doing the battle droids and all that. But it's really D. Bradley Baker with D. Bradley Baker. Yeah.
so essentially, we could have called this the D. Bradley Breaker Show.
Yes. Yes.
Is essentially what this became very quickly.
Mhm.
Um, and it was such a man, it was such a good job getting that done. I tell you, how much fun was it, David? I got to ask you this: how much fun was it sitting back and watching the clones go at it with battle droids again?
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Um, and seeing seeing Rex do his thing, seeing Cody do his thing, watching what is it? I don't can't remember if it was Rex or who it was, put a little or maybe it was Hunter. Says, "Hey, we're going to need an evac," and then you see Crosshair go over. And he looks over. He sees two, B1 battle droids, and he goes, "Not a problem," and just goes toot toot and just takes them out. Commandeers that
Peter.
speed. Watching Wrecker do his thing. Um, when he gets up into that first tower, he's like, "What? It's all done?" He was wanting to have some action. Watching Hunter jump around and use a knife sometimes instead of shooting, so cool. Um, but yeah, watching the clones against the clankers, they had a lot of really great action there, and of course the big super battle droids came in too, and it was not short on action and battles between those guys. So that you think about the Clone Wars, well, this was it, man. The clones are battling.
Oh, they are, and it was amazing. And what added to me so much to it was we've watched the clones battle droids for 7 seasons, 6 seasons, and we're starting seventh season off with a clone centric arc. We see them battle again, but it's not just the traditional clones versus droids. You have the complexity of Clone Force 99 thrown in there, who does stuff completely out of the norm for the clones.
Yeah, and that really helped.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it confused Trench and his droids. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean they were under the idea that the operating under the idea that the reason they were able to interpret or predict their plans so easily was they had an algorithm that was recognizing Captain Rex's strategy, so they were able to clear it so easily and clear the field and get everything done, make the proper adjustments before they. It's almost like, to quote the Rex, it's like they know what we're doing before we do it. And Clone Force 99 allowed them that crazy tactic and so off the wall that it was so completely unpredictable, and that it threw everybody off the loop, and they were able to complete the mission and to get in there. And they did discover that there was an algorithm, but it wasn't exactly what they thought. Um,
Yeah.
and and to me, this was a huge, and this was it's huge no matter who you are. It's a huge part of the story, but it was very. You can see how this is connecting into to Rex's story and how he begins to separate himself out from the clones, because we know at some point he pulls out his chip and does not follow through on Order 66.
Right.
So we know that's coming. But what's great about this is he goes through, and him and Tech infiltrate the base. They're hacking in the computer. They hack in the signal and they realize, well, this is the algorithm, but it's coming from a different planet and it sounds almost human. And Rex is, because a lot of the strategies Rex uses was not normal strategies. These were ones developed by him and two other clones, Echo and Fives. Both of them are dead.
Right.
They're deceased.
Right.
And so it's like, how could they know these strategies? There's nobody else that wouldn't have known these strategies that could have sold them out, because they're the ones that helped me develop it. And what I think is very interesting, they're like, it sounds almost human. Tech's like, it sounds almost human. They're like, ask him who it is. Rex like, ask who this is. And he asked, and it came back CT, what was CT1?
I think
1409. CT1409. CT1409 is what it just kept repeating. And you see that look of almost, and this is why I know this, when you can look at an animated character and see the shock and fear you would see in a human's face on there, you know it's well animated, because the shock and the utter horror of what he was hearing was well displayed in Rex's face.
Yeah. Yeah.
As he sat there and heard Echo's number.
Yeah. So it brings up a lot of questions, right? It's like, I just wonder, is he hooked up to something? Because what I did is I went back, I have it in our show notes, and I don't know if you did it, but I had some time. I went back and I watched all 3 episodes of the Citadel arc, and it's the middle one called Counterattack, and I was watching it, where you see an explosion and Echo's there, and I think it's Rex and Cody call out, or one of them does, oh my God, it's Echo, and he got blown up next to a shuttle that they were going to try to escape on. So we know, well, again, that's where we know that Echo was killed, quote unquote. But so I just wondered, did they, off of the Citadel, preserve him, keep him alive? Is he hooked up to something right now? So like when Tech and Rex are trying to figure out who this is it just a shell of himself? Is he going to be okay? It's interesting, because it sounds like the next episode is called A Distant Echo. And I guess I'm not quite sure if they rescued him from, what is it called? Skako Minor, I think. And so, but we'll see. But it brings up all these questions of, how did he survive? Was it, Dooku who went there? Because we know that, gosh, who is it? James Arnold Taylor voiced the prison administrator there of the Citadel. I'm trying to remember. He's killed at the end of the episode, but I don't know. Do clones, not clones, but do battle droids grab Echo's body, and that's why Trench and the Separatists have his brain or his whole body? I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see what they show here in the next few episodes.
It will be. So do you not remember how you said you watched the story reel, right?
Yes. Okay. I can't remember like the second, third, or fourth story reel. It's kind of like I mentioned to you, I think I texted you that as I sat down and watched this, fully animated, I'm like, okay, this is coming back to me. So like right now, it's like I'm actually kind of glad. Like even when I was watching this, I'm like, wait, yeah, oh yeah, the Echo. And so like I don't remember, what ends up happening. I don't remember those other story reels, and I'm glad I don't. So it can kind of be fresh for me, I guess. So don't spoil it for me.
Okay.
So I could get off right now for a while and let you talk to listeners, but
no, I'm not going to do that, because we don't do spoilers.
That's right. That's right.
Even though this, arc has been out for 4 years, 5 years. We're not going to spoil it for those who did not see the story reel, or those who don't remember what happened in the story reel. I do remember because a friend of mine actually ripped them offline and gave me a copy on a CD. So when we found out Clone Wars was coming back, before we saw the trailer and found out Bad Batch was going to be in it, I went back and I rewatched the series for the 6 seasons that we had, and I even actually pulled out that CD and rewatched this arc. Then I found out we were getting this arc, and I was like, oh, geez, I know what happens in the first 4 episodes.
Well,
like this will be fun to podcast and not spoil anything.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're going to have to be more. Yeah, I'm actually glad because usually I have a memory like an elephant, and I don't know if it was just watching them. I think I just watched them one time on StarWars.com, and I do remember watching the story reels for. I think it was called Crystal Crisis on Utapau. It sounds like those are not going to be made. And I was trying to remember if they did not have like a Siege of Mandalore or story reels. I know that. So I remember those two, but I don't like. I remember more about Crystal Crisis on Utapau, those story reels, than I feel like I do Bad Batch, and I'm actually glad because maybe I'll be, like I said, pleasantly surprised with how this plays out. I can't wait for the next episode here in 2 days on Friday. So
I know Distant Echo is coming out this Friday, the 28th, I believe. 28th. It will be out, so make sure you tune in for that episode. Before we wrap up this discussion, David, got to ask you one question. What's your favorite Bad Batcher?
Yeah, no, it's Wrecker because I love his humor. The cavalry has arrived. I love that he's excited when they're being shot down. Versus like feeling terror or scared. He's loving it. I don't know. I just love seeing him toss over a Republic gunship, holding the door to the Republic gunship, and the other Bad Batch guys are behind him. And I don't know. I just really get a kick out of him more than the others. I like the others, but he just really does it for me. So Wrecker's the one. How about for you?
I thought I knew which one I liked, but then the more I watched the episode and rewatched it, I actually changed it because originally I liked Crosshair. I just thought he was fun. I thought he was unique. The strong, quiet type I like. To me, he reminded me a lot of. I don't know if did you see the movie The Professional with Jean Reno?
Yeah.
And Natalie Portman as a really young kid.
Yes.
He just kind of reminded me of Jean Reno's character in that. That French assassin type person, and I liked it. But the more I watched the episode, the more I was like, you know what? Records, dude, how many people laugh when they're being shot down?
Exactly. It's so awesome. He's just more excited.
Yeah. He's literally laughing and having the time of his life, and there's gunships going down. He is just having a blast.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
His comedy is great, and like at the end of it when when Rex and the other clone are pinned down, and Wrecker comes busting out of the compound that they came through on the other side and takes out a whole bunch of clones or a whole bunch of droids, and Rex comes running up and goes, "What took so long, Wrecker?" And Wrecker's like, "Oh, it was a delicate operation."
Exactly. He's so good. He's so good. The way they wrote this, Matt Minkovich and Brett Friedman, it's so good, so good.
Oh, it was great. I love it. I've come to realize Wrecker has a lot of the humor I have. He just has that sarcastic bone in him. So I enjoyed it. It was good. It's good.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on Bad Batch, David.
wonderful start to this final season. I'm excited.